Scripture tells us that as Babylon is being destroyed, because it's God that's doing it, the people would be wailing and mourning the destruction of Babylon, clinging to try to save it and spare it. Instead of celebrating it, it's our chance for freedom. Let it burn, okay? I really want to address the second part of your comment there. X tends to be a little more considered right wing. And what good does it do those folks on that side of things to be speaking of Palantir, speaking of a surveillance state, speaking of the dangers of nanotechnology and AI, speaking of what a CBDC will do and a digital currency will do, speaking of the crimes of humanity that have been perpetuated through human trafficking, that this entire global system is built upon. Okay? If you guys want that to end, then you better let go of the systems that are feeding off of it. What systems? All of them. All of them. You guys want a list? Okay? Do they have political influence and power? Do they have stardom? Do they have great wealth and influence? Do they have religious authority? Yes? There's your list. There's your list. At this point, there's no sifting. There is only, what do you have allegiance to? Do you have allegiance to it? Then you're going with it. And I'm speaking from a perspective of prophecy. The beast, the false prophet, and all who worship it are going into the lake of fire, right? So what good does it do to speak about these things and at the same time support the very regimes bringing these things down upon you, bringing in the technocracy? Day 2 of this administration, Microsoft, Oracle, OpenAI was invited into your government, right? Tens of thousands of federal employees let go and replaced with AI agents. You now have AI governing you, and you people don't even know it. Or not you people. I'm sorry, my friend. My anger is not toward you. It's just towards the level of blindness and ignorance by people who are proclaiming to be awake. They're part of a great delusion. They're being cast into a great delusion because of what they worship. What they're worshiping is a man, is systems of men. Okay? Scripture tells us you war not against flesh and blood, but principalities, powers, governors, and princes of darkness in high places. Guys, that's your governing systems. Your whole governing systems operate via principalities and powers, okay? And they're all tied to elite bloodlines of princes of darkness. Scripture tells you that the devil is the prince of this world. This world operates through these structures of power, religious powers, political powers, banking powers. Okay, when you dig into it, the people groups behind these things have historically stood on the Bible to create their global jurisdiction of power. They've all proclaimed to be anointed by God in order to rule, and then they've stood on the Bible to prove that they're anointed by God. And yet they don't think that God's going to show up and destroy everything that they've built and everything that they've created for blaspheming his name, blaspheming his image, blaspheming his teachings, blaspheming the grace and the mercy given to us through Christ. All of these people proclaiming to be Christians, I don't see the image of Christ in any of them. And if there is not obedience, if there is no image, you are not part of the family. And I don't care what kind of religious doctrine people want to follow, because those religious doctrines are all part of Babylon and the beast and the devil that rules this world. But let me remind you folks, the devil is the prince of this world. He is not the king. And if folks could only find their king, everyone could calm down and find your peace and find your joy in the chains that are being released because of the destruction from Babylon, of Babylon. So, no, I'm not saying that what happened didn't happen. I'm not saying that he wasn't unalived. Sadly, he was. And it's tragic. It's horrible. It's horrible that it was done in front of so many people. But he didn't die for Christ. He didn't die for his faith. He died for over the political party that he was serving. Sadly. Okay? And if y'all dig into it, the very people groups that he vehemently supported, vehemently brought so many other people into supporting, those very people groups are the ones behind taking him out. So they could make him a martyr. So they could take everything that he's ever said and make it a gospel that side of the aisle is going to cling to and follow, more so than what Jesus said and what Jesus taught. Also, they could move forth their agenda, right? And what is their agenda? Technocratic feudalism, right? Humans to be embodied with AI, okay? When you pass, your soul and your consciousness will be uploaded into a cloud. And you'll just be downloaded into a false metaverse, and you'll never know any difference. That's what's on the line. That's what's on the line, right? And who's bringing all of this in? The very power structures that everybody's clinging to save. That's who's bringing this in, and that is what is on the line. And trying to get people to wake up to that and go another way is pointless. It's absolutely pointless. Over the past couple of years, I have realized that trying to pour truth onto people who have a heart filled with lies, they desire lies. They desire lies because it props up their ego, it props up their status, it props up their position and their desire to be as lords, a seed of the original sin. Because they don't want to let it go. That's what they want. And that is what is going to lead them into the pit they have chosen. But never fear, for the rest of you, you can be set free. Okay, you can be led right through this, right out of this, because God Most High reigns. Jesus is King, and there's not a damned thing the Prince of Darkness in this world can do against you. And you can have faith in that and rest in that. But stop getting caught up in this nonsense. You need to see the truth, prepare for the truth, start breaking free from these systems of control the best that you can, and know the image of your God and your Messiah. And if you do not see that image in people, it does not matter what they say, what they proclaim, what they say they believe in. If you don't see God's image in them, and Scripture explains to us that image, okay? And only Scripture explains that image. If you don't see that image in people, y'all should really stop following them, okay? And that's just a little piece of advice out of love. So, my sister, I'm angry in this video, but my anger is not directed toward you. So, I apologize for that. And I apologize to the rest of you for expressing my anger. I try not to do that. But it is time for people to stop playing as if they're awake and wake up.